This is how a bird chick hatches from its egg, extremely underdeveloped, barely any feathers on its body, and the eyes completely shut. For chicken, the chicks are well developed when they hatch, quickly able to stand and walk on their own. And this is the same case with most domestic poultry species, like ducks or turkeys. But for the megapodes, their babies hatch from their eggs in the most mature condition of any bird. They hatch with open eyes, full wing feathers, able to run to pursue prey, and in some species, fly on the same day they hatch. This is the marvel of independency from the very beginning. The megapodes are stocky, medium-large, chicken-like birds with small heads. Megapodes are of three kinds: scrub fowl, brush turkeys, and mallee fowl. The name megapode literally means large foot, as reference to the heavy legs and feet typical of these terrestrial birds, the feet that allow them to cleverly harness environmental heat sources to incubate their eggs. Depending on the species and location, megapodes may lay their eggs in burrows dug with these large feet in sun-warmed beaches or geothermally active areas for the eggs to develop. For this, choosing the right spot to dig a hole is crucial for the males. The gland in their throat is used to make sure the temperature of the chosen spot is around body heat. The females would only lay eggs if the hole is within the acceptable warmth, but if temperature allows, they simply lay their eggs on top of heated surface. But out in the open and abandoned like this means one thing: exposed to predators. Megapode eggs are made up of 70% yolk, over twice the proportion of yolk found in the domestic hen's egg. This is to give the chick a good quick start once it hatches. But for the predators, it is a nutritious meal for survival. Fate of an egg, entangled in the food chain. This has led to a more complex incubation process while hiding the eggs for some megapodes. The mallee fowl, the best known of the group, have the most complex nesting habits of all the megapodes. This fascinating bird would a mound of decaying vegetation, which may require 11 months to construct. The result is a low mound, about 1 meter in the ground and up to 4.5 meter across, consisting of leaves and twigs soaked with rain and covered with 0.5 meter of sandy soil. When the heat of fermentation inside the mound reaches 33 degrees Celsius, the female lays the first of about 35 eggs in a central chamber. Though sometimes the pair work together in building the nest, male mallee fowl plays a crucial role for the incubation process. The male would maintain this mound temperature astonishingly close to 33 degrees Celsius, even in the face of daily and seasonal weather variation. It would add or remove litter throughout the entire incubation period to regulate the internal heat while the eggs develop. This whole incubation process would take around 7 weeks. If everything goes well, life would emerge from the nest. The hatchlings would use their powerful feet to burst out of the shell and dig upward through the mound. Already, with an appearance resembling that of a few weeks-old domestic chicken chick, with bodily coordination and downy body feathers. The non-social nature of their incubation raises questions as to how the hatchlings come to recognize other members of their species, which is due to imprinting in other members of the heavy-bodied ground-feeding birds. Recent research suggests an instinctive visual recognition of specific movement patterns is made by the individual species of megapode. Even though the hatching success is usually very high, post-emergence mortality is just as high, especially in the areas with introduced predators. This is a combination of the lack of parental care and highly terrestrial habits. In addition, the chicks usually emerge from the mound in an exhausted state, making it very easy for many predatory species to prey on them. Fortunately, the large brood sizes of the megapodes seem to balance these losses. The evolution of incubation using environmental heat sources in megapodes has had very significant implications in terms of the behavior, physiology, and ecology of the family. By emancipating themselves from the necessity of incubating their eggs by sitting on them, as well as post-hatching parental care, the megapodes have been able to increase their brood size tremendously. This high clutch size of very precocious offspring success fully offsets the high first-year mortality seen in many terrestrial birds. Unfortunately, because of their terrestrial habits, the sensitivity of the mounds to canopy cover, along with predation, the megapodes are threatened throughout their range. If urgent conservation measures are not taken, many megapode species will disappear, making their fascinating breeding behavior will be a thing of the past.